In the original Matrix film, Morpheus was one of the few individuals who knew that the world they lived in was not real. It was a fantasy created by a race of machines that had conquered humanity, and now they keep them prisoner. He was a leader, a fighter against the obstacles that prevented the humans from awakening from the dream world in which they found themselves in. The machine-controlled simulation, the Matrix, and giving them refuge in the city of Zion, the last human city in the real world. He was a role model to the resistance, and it was he who inspired Neo to come out of the monotony of his daily life, to see the truth and reach his full potential by becoming the one, destined to save humanity. His important role was to basically fight and put all the pieces in motion for the salvation. So naturally, his return in Matrix 4 is expected. After all, Morpheus has been featured prominently in all Matrix material, the movies, the animated shorts, the video games, and comics, becoming an even bigger revolutionary in the war against the machines. Unlike Neo and Trinity, he survived at the end of the Matrix revolutions. He fulfilled his mission in finding the Chosen One, but his story still remained without closure. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
If the war was to begin again in Matrix 4, and Neo and Trinity were brought back to life to fight in it, Morpheus' return should be a sound prediction. However, as of this video, there has been no concrete information nor confirmation that the Morpheus character is going to return in Matrix 4. But Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss are returning, so why not Fishburne? It could be that Warner Brothers is keeping the return of Morpheus a secret, using it as an advertisement strategy to surprise the fans when they finally reveal him. If that is the case, why didn't they do that with Neo and Trinity? Simple. It would be practically impossible to hide the return of Reeves and Moss, so maybe Morpheus is being kept as a secret. The studio doesn't want the fans to know everything before the movie opens. Also, when cases such as this occurs, when actors have not yet signed on, it's probably because negotiations are still ongoing. Maybe Fishburne and the studio have yet to settle on a deal. The lack of information from the actor does not necessarily mean that the Morpheus character will not appear in the new movie. But what if Fishburne doesn't return? That means that Morpheus' character cannot return either, right? Well, not necessarily. It has been speculated that Morpheus may return in Matrix 4, but he will be played by a new actor, not as a replacement of the experienced Morpheus, but as a younger version of the character. Actor Yahya Abdul-Mateen II was confirmed to play a major role in Matrix 4, and many have speculated that the character that he's going to play is the younger Morpheus. But Reeves and Moss are going to play the same characters as they are, with no de-aging, showing that time has passed since the original trilogy. So how is this younger looking Morpheus going to interact with the more older looking Neo and Trinity? Flashbacks. Young Morpheus may only appear in flashbacks. We may get to see Morpheus' past, of when he came to believe in the prophecy of the One, how he met the Oracle, and maybe how he achieved his status. Maybe there is an important plot detail in Morpheus' past, and our heroes need to explore a simulation of said past, serving as a form of time travel without actually being time travel. Or who knows, maybe Neo and Trinity somehow do time travel to the past and meet the younger Morpheus. This concept is not completely out of the question due to the science fiction nature of the franchise. There is another possible explanation for the young Morpheus. If you remember, the Matrix from the original trilogy was restarted at the end of Matrix Revolutions, meaning that its structures, laws, and events are all new, but more importantly, its people. Canonically, a new version of the agents was created, a friendlier version to help improve human-machine relations. Also keep in mind that the humans do not reproduce naturally in the world of the Matrix. They are fabricated, cultivated, and harvested by the machines. This begs the question of how humanity achieved its physical diversity. Could the machines allow the humans to develop naturally without any interventions or guidelines to their growth? Sure they could, but nothing says that they have to. So are all humans clones from a pre-designed mold or blueprint? That once a clone dies and it's disposed of, another one is created using the same design? Is there a set number or limit for each look? With a new version of the Matrix, will the machines just create the same looking humans? This leaves the doors wide open for a young Morpheus to appear in Matrix 4, without the need of time travel or alternate dimensions. The new Morpheus is just another copy of the Morpheus design blueprint. If the machines are capable of this leaves new implications for Neo. Did the previous versions of the Chosen One looked exactly like him? If we base this theory solely on the scene between Neo and the Architect, we could assume that that is indeed the case, that every single Chosen One looked exactly the same. But back to Morpheus. There is yet another possible, chronological reason for his apparent absence in Matrix 4. In the official continuation of the Matrix story, the Matrix Online video game, Morpheus was not happy with the machines, with their refusal to return Neo's body, telling him that they never claimed him. This led Morpheus to protest against the machines inside of the Matrix, using newly developed weapons known as code bombs. These bombs would display the Matrix code to whoever was close enough to see the explosion. During one of these bombings, Morpheus was attacked by a mysterious character simply known as the Assassin. He was presumably sent to kill Morpheus under the orders of the Merovingian. He apparently succeeded in his mission, but some transmissions suggest that Morpheus survived the encounter, that he may still be alive. So if the Matrix Online story is canon to the new film, it can explain why his return is not confirmed or assured. So even if Morpheus did die, and it is explained in the film how it happened, it's just too difficult to think of a continuation of the Matrix without him, without Lawrence Fishburne. But do you agree? Is it possible for Morpheus to return in Matrix 4? Will he return at all? For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.